Good afternoon. I'm so used to saying good morning. So, this morning I went out on one of my woods walks and ended up on a business call that took the entire time. So, I didn't get to come live with you. And here I am in my kitchen. I'm making these cookies. They look so good. It's a gluten-free, they're called peanut butter cookies, but I made almond butter cookies. And I just wanted to talk about a couple of the things that are on my mind and see if anything's on your mind that you would like to talk about. Hey, Morgan. Hi. Wave. So if you've got anything that's really pushing your stress button today and you want to talk it out, go ahead and share in the comments. And what I've been thinking about is knowing your goodness. Hi. I'm baking cookies. I did my woods walk earlier today. Hi guys. And I just was missing you and thinking about you all and wanting to come on and just give a chat. So if you need any support, if anything's like, if you need any guidance on anything, go ahead and comment in and I'll be sure to support you. But what I wanted to talk about is really being in that place of knowing your goodness so deeply that you are unaffected by the opinions of other people. This is something that I continue to deepen my awareness and my understanding of over and over and over again. It seems to be for sure one of the themes that I've incarnated to transform for myself is this like, worrying about the perception of others. Hi. So one of the things that I'm noticing, and my mentor has helped me so much with this, is there was this part of me that, I'm so clear that every single person has their own perception and that you know what's right for you and I know what's right for me, and don't ever tell me what's right for me because I'm the highest authority, and just like you're the highest authority of what's right for you. So I had this sort of like wire cross in my brain where if somebody tells me that I am something, like who am I to tell them that that's not their experience? And I'm not. But just because somebody says that I am something, it doesn't mean that I need to let that land in me. It doesn't mean that I have to take that on. So like as an example, when I was little, my mom would always tell me that I was really greedy because I loved numbers and I loved counting money and I loved being entrepreneurial. And, to this day, I still have to stare that belief down, that I'm not a greedy person. And so I want to support you with really claiming your goodness. So as you hear things, what is it that somebody might say about you? And you can, if you feel so courageous, you can put it in the comments. If you don't want to share, that's perfectly okay. But what is it that's if somebody said about you, it would almost be like a major sting because some part of you believes it. And that's the other thing I want to address. If you're affected by what someone else says about you, the only thing that's happening there is that there's already a charge inside of you. There's already an emotional charge around that conversation that thinks that it might be true, right? So like, for instance, sorry, my hair's like still wet. If somebody said to me, you're really bad at business, I would be like, haha, thanks for that interesting comment, bye, because there's nowhere in me that actually believes that. I know I'm a brilliant businesswoman. So there's no like energetic or emotional charge that is like almost like, is that true? Am I a bad businesswoman? But when it comes to that term on greed and greediness, because I was, that was really programmed into me as a young girl, there's an emotional charge there that I react to. So first of all, if you get emotionally charged, I want you to see it as a good thing, because all that's happening right there is that the person in front of you is reflecting back to you something that's already inside of you. Now you get to work on it, bring it up to the surface of your mind, stare it down, and repattern it, right? So what I'm doing for myself around this comment on greed is I'm seeing all of the ways where I'm really generous. And I'm really owning that generosity in me. Like, for one thing, I have some of these like prepared meals sent to me. And sometimes my husband asks if he can have one. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, no question. Or when I have, this has happened in the past where people who have worked for me have wanted to start a business, and I've supported them using Becca Rose as the platform, as the launch pad to support them in starting their business. There is a whole section in our store on racism education, and I donate the profits of those books to different BIPOC charities, one being the Black Visions Collective. So there's a lot of generosity. Look, I'm coming live right now and sharing like this insight because I want to help you, because I'm like, wow, there's information here. This information, when it was shared with me, changed my life. Heck yes, I want to do whatever I can to support you in changing yours. This is generosity, and this is the complete opposite of greed. And so here I am, like, when somebody tells us something and when we believe it, there's a part of our brain that goes to like stack the evidence for it, of like, yeah, I must be greedy. Look at all this stuff that I do. Look at all these ways that I show up in greed. And if you want to change the pattern, recognize the emotional trigger, right? Recognize that energetic charge that you already have. Thank it for showing up. Thank this person for being this magic mirror, right? They didn't cause the charge. When somebody calls me greedy, I'm not mad at them for the way that I respond to it, right? And then, hey, Moke. Did you want to say hi? Come on. Come on. Ooh. So, this Moki wants to say hello. Oh my gosh. Recognize the emotional charge. And then decide what you want to know for yourself instead, right? So I wanted to know that I'm generous. I wanted to know that I'm the opposite of greedy. This is Moki. He really wanted to be a part of this video. And so what I started to do, instead of stacking the evidence for my greed, is I started stacking the evidence for my generosity. And in this way, I start to transform the way that I relate to myself, so that whenever somebody shows up, just like now, if somebody shows up and they're like, you're a bad business person, I'm like, haha, thanks so much, see you later. Like, there's no anger, frustration, resentment in me if I hear that, because it just isn't true for me, so it doesn't land. But the greed thing, that's something I need to continue working on. So now I know when somebody tells me I'm greedy and I have no reaction to it, that I've really transformed through that, and I know the truth of who I am. So that's my little rant. How does that make sense? Does that serve you? Let me know. Is there anything else that you want to talk about today while I'm here? I'm here to support you. And I think that this is a really powerful tool, that if we all really started to understand that our reactions have very little to do with the people around us, 99% of the time, and everything to do with something that's already within us, that's asking to be looked at, to be loved, to be nurtured, right? Because this isn't about me being upset with someone else for calling me greedy. This is about a pattern that was instilled into me as a child that caused me to believe the thought from someone else that said that I'm greedy. And if I'm going to evolve into the woman who serves at the degree that I want to serve, I have to know that I'm generous. I have to clear any charged part of me that thinks anything other than my goodness, that thinks anything other than I can do this, I can be seen. Because if there's any part of me that feels like I'm wrong or bad, I want to hide. All of us do. That's just shame. And shame doesn't belong to us. Shame is somebody else's stuff. And it was put onto us by well-meaning people who love us. And now it's time for us to hand it back. So I personally, my vision is to serve as many people as I possibly can, and I can't do that by hiding. So I'm gonna stare all that shit down and wrap my arms around myself and know my goodness and my generosity so I can be visible and help. Well, you are quiet. I hope that this served. Thanks for joining me. I'm making cookies. Here they are so far. And once they're all done, I'll post a story. The recipe is really good. If you want me to post the recipe, let me know. Look how good that looks. Okay, have a great day.